Hey there YouTube, it's me Tifo Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the second of this month's Korean toy reviews. Right, today I've got another new character from the Tobot 2024 toy line, otherwise known as Tobot Daedo Heroes Season 2. So let's get into it, shall we? Right, now, obviously they are on YouTube or in the show, they've sort of split it into part 1 and part 2 for Season 2. They finished part 1 of Season 2, and part 2 of Season 2 is coming beginning next month. So we've got a couple of weeks to wait until the next episodes get aired on YouTube. But with that said, the character I've got to show you today is Twin Punch. Now, Twin Punch is very unusual. It's a duocon. It's a two. Well, technically it's a copolymer because the individual vehicle modes don't have robot modes of their own, but the two vehicles combine together to form a large robot. And the combination sequence is very unusual because you've got two vehicle modes which transform symmetrically, or down mirror symmetry. They both transform the same way, but they're mirror opposites to one another, and then they form together in the middle to form the robot mode. And it's a very unusual transformation design that they've come up with these, but it's not unheard of. It has been done before with other figures in the past, but I think this is a first for the Tobot toy line. But anyway, so start off with. Here is the box. I mean, obviously you can see it's got the usual thing, large sort of clamshell inside, with like the shiny foil backing, and then you've got the two characters. You've got Hook and Jab, and then obviously there's their name there, and then on the side you've got their alt modes. Their alt modes are Hyundai Caspers, which is a new vehicle that's coming out or coming to the. I believe it's a 2025 model. I don't think they've actually come out in Korea just yet, or if they are, they're going to be released later this year. But it's a new model of car from the Hyundai company in South Korea, and there is a picture of him in his alt mode with his robot mode. And he has a very strong sort of boxing thing. He's like a boxer. He has like boxing glove things. And there's a picture there with his the letter names H and J for Hook and Jab. So Tobot H and Tobot J. And top of the box and the bottom of the box with all the product information. As with other sort of Tobot figures, comes with instructions manual, which, as you can see, has got a lot of steps. This guy is quite complex to transform. There's a lot of twists and turns going on with the way it works, and because it's symmetrical, each figure has got the same amount of moves and steps to transform it, but they're symmetrically opposite to one another, which is very interesting design. As it's a new Tobot figure, it comes with the cardboard base stand, so you can stand the figure on it. And it also comes with a couple of cards. Now, in the last review, well, one of the last figures I did for this line, which was Tobot A, we got the mobile phone case, and for Tobot A, it's got a gimmick whereby he's got working lights. It's got like a magnet inside this, which when you touch it on his hood, it makes the lights turn off and on. Now, it came with a bunch of cards which you slot into the card thing, and then it shows the picture of the robot's head when the character is talking to him, and then obviously on the other side it's got like a picture of the character itself. Now these guys, they come with a couple of cards. Now they didn't come with the phone holder, but the cards are compatible with the phone holder, so I'll just slip this one in. Obviously, there's a picture of Twin Punch in combined mode, and then on the other side, you've got the trace pattern for the activation thing, where you go. It's got a very unusual thing, because usually it forms the letter of the character's name, but on this one, it's kind of like a W but you'd have thought it would have been TP or something like that. They'd have come up with something different to that. But anyway, it's got a thing. And then you've got the other card, which has got that. And then when you plug it in, it shows the robot's head. And of course, it's split down the middle because obviously, you know, Hook and Jab are two different characters which combine together into one robot. So, you know, you've got that vertical split between the two. So yeah, but it doesn't actually come with a phone case holder. You just get the cards, but they are compatible with, you know, the phone cases that come with Tobot A. I believe the new Tobot W that's coming along also has a phone case holder coming with it. So that's something to look forward to for the next character in the line. So we've seen the box. Let's look at the vehicle modes. Right, starting off with Hook. So there we go. There's Hook. As you can see, it's a nicely detailed Hyundai Casper. I don't know whether this is a scale representation of the vehicle, though the proportion on it do look pretty good. It does look like a real world vehicle to me. The Casper it's like a little hatchback thing. So yeah, it does kind of look, you know, realistically scaled, so to speak. But anyway, it's a good-looking car. Looking on the front, you know, you've got the Hyundai badge, you've got the lights, then you've got this large sort of silver grille with some other sort of lights on the outside. And then you've got the underguard with the Hook number plate. Got very large wheels which are nicely painted with a nice design. You've got the mirror on the side, got the door handle. You've got like styling lines down the side of the vehicle. You've got trims that go around the arches, and then on the back you've got rear lights, Hyundai badge. You've got this bumper guard on the back with some tail lights, some more tail lights. Probably you've got a little bit of the transformational gubbins there, and then on the other side you've got this stripe. Now it's only on one side of the car, as you can see. So you've got this broad white stripe, and as this is Hook, it's got like this italic H. It worked into the stripe, so that's a styled design. And when we get into the robot mode, you'll see the reason why that's on there and not on this side. So there he is. There's Hook, and then we've got Jab. Now Jab is slightly different. Jab has a roof rack. So Jab has this roof rack which is formed up out of parts, which a little bit of parts forming on the robot mode. You've got the two boxing gloves clipped on top, and then you've got the roof rack itself. Now the roof rack does come off, and then you've got these two pegs and this groove in the middle of the roof, which the other one hasn't got. The groove is to accommodate this hinge as part of the roof rack. Also, another thing to note, this one has got some slight detail differences compared to Hook. Jab has got roof bars, whereas Hook doesn't. Also, I mean, the front is slightly different. I mean, again, you've got the lights and the Hyundai badge, but then this grille piece, instead of it being silver, it's grey, and it's got an extra pair of lights in the front, like fog lights or whatever. Because if you look on this one, you can see that the front grille is slightly different. The grille at the bottom's virtually the same. You've got the Jazz, you've got the same wheels down the side. You've got the broad white stripe, which has got you know, an italic J for Jab, or you know, Tobot J. Now the thing you've got to look here is they're on opposite sides. So if I've put the vehicles round the same way, they're on opposite sides. But if I turn them round that way, hang on, there we go, like that, you can see that they're on that side. So it's got that. It's got the same wheels. The back of the car is virtually identical. Again, it's got the same sort of light detail, Hyundai badge, this silver, you know, sort of bumper piece, and stuff, large wheels, detailing grooves. Now, it's a nice looking car. It's a nice little hatchback. Like I said, the proportions and the scale on these vehicles, I believe it's equivalent to the real world vehicle, but I'm not 100% sure, but it looks pretty good. Now, a quick comparison with some of the other figures in the line for robot mode. There we go, next to Tobot X. Tobot X is a Hyundai Ioniq 5. And there we go. Again, it's slightly, you know, disproportionate vehicle mode, whereas this one's a little bit more proportioned. But there they go. Then we've got Tobot Y, and there they are together with Hook. Then we've got Tobot X, the Hyundai. Can't remember what this was. But anyway, there we go. That's them two together. And then finally, Tobot A, the Ioniq 6. And there we go with the Hook size comparison with those. So I thought I'd put those extra size comparisons in because Mr. Paramount 360, yes, I know he likes calling me out in the comment section saying, "Oh, you forgot something," and I've gone to the trouble of getting these extra figures out just so as I can do the vehicle comparisons and the robot comparisons with the other characters from the line, just to keep certain people happy, you know. But anyway, let's carry on, shall we? Right, so we've seen that. So let's start with the transformation. Now, these guys, let's put that back on there for now. Actually, we'll start off with Hook. These guys have, like I said, they have a symmetrical transformation. So they both transform the same, but they're like mirror opposites of each other. So now to start the transformation, if you look underneath, you can see bits here. There's a little tab there. Where is it? There it is. There's a little tab there. So if you pull that, that then separates the back of the vehicle. That comes round. Now there's a piece in here that comes round to form the foot. You then got this grey piece here which you pull out and then spin it round and then clip it into place. That locks that leg together. There's also this orange piece that you flip up for the knee pad. Then you've got this piece here which you unclip and then fold that down and then bring this down, twizzle that round, bring this, bring that down, and then you just got to straighten the stuff out, and there's a leg. And then the top part, you've got this top piece of the car. You bring that round. You then got this you can bring this up. You've got this panel here, this wheel panel, which you unplug, bring that down. Then you can disconnect the front piece, and then you've got to separate it and bring it out to form the arm. And then got to bring that round, and then this folds round like that. That's the arm, and then you've got the bit on the back. You just fold this round until it's like that. And there's one half of the robot mode. I know I made a bit of a hash of that, but like I said, they're quite complicated transformation. I would go so far as to say that this is probably one of the most complicated Korean toys I've handled. And Korean toys tend to be quite intuitive and not exactly simplistic, but you know, they're very sensible in the way they transform. This one's got a lot extra going on to get this transformation where you split the vehicle up into, you know, half of a humanoid robot. So let's go back to Jab. So basically pull that off and put that off to one side, and then it's basically the same transformation. You start off by bringing that out. You fold the foot round, pick this up, click that into place, Then bring that round. Then take this piece, bring that up there. You then bring that round, flip that round, bring that down. And there's a leg. And then the top piece. So you've got to, that's it, right. You bring this side round, then you unplug. Oh yeah, I forgot the this wheel panel, because that unlocks the transformation. Then you can bring the arm out. Yeah, I forgot about that. And then just bring that round. And then we have the other side. I made a bit of a hash of that, I admit. Like I said, they are tricky to transform, these things. You've got to get your head around the order of operation and the way things work. And if you don't, it can be a bit tricky to unpeg, because stuff plugs together very firmly in the alt mode, and pulling it apart. And I've also I trimmed my fingernails this morning, so I haven't got anything to grab any of the edges and pull them out properly. But anyway, we've got half of a robot. We've got another half of a robot. Let's make it a robot. So you just plug them together. Got 3 clipping points. And there we have Twin Punch in robot mode. Not quite. We're kind of missing something. So Twin Punch has two. He has two. He's basically a duocon. You know, he's got 2 robot modes, or 2 vehicle modes, each with its own mind core or choroid and its own personality, and they combine together to form a robot. Now, in Transformers, when we have multiple, robots that form together to form a combiner or gestalt, then they have like a common mind core or common brain that controls, even though they're let's say 5 or 6 individual bots that are merging together, they have like a common consciousness that controls the robot. This one's slightly different. This has, again, it's two cores, 2 choroids, and they switch between the 2 in the show. They can actually switch, almost like teleport between them. And the choroids are stored in these little cubby holes in the back. So let's start off with Hook. So you open this door and you can see the choroid inside. And you have to unclip them, and they do plug in quite. But then so get him out. So here we go. Here's Hook. So obviously, get the right face. So there's his little choroid. Right. I suppose I might as well get the other one out. Oh, I have missed something at the transformation as well. We've got these pieces here. You've got the roof rack. So you unplug the boxing gloves, then you split the rack in half, fold it over, and then you plug them on to the top. There's like a port there and a port there, and you just plug them on like so, and that forms that. And then the boxing gloves, they just plug on to the hands. Oh yeah, got to pull that one out. There we go. So you've got a little peg there, and that just plugs onto there, and that forms the boxing gloves. Now we need to get the other choroid out. So open this side, pull him out, shut that down, and then we've got to turn that round, and there we have Jab. So we've got Hook and Jab. We've got 2 choroids. Now when they go into the robot, what happens is one of them will just like hide away in the cubby hole, in the little cupboard, and then the other one will form the head of the robot, like so. So So there we have, like, Hook is in control of the robot, and as they're both named after two sort of boxing moves, hook and jab, they have specialist attacks when depending on who's in control of the you know, the Gestalt, the combiner, the robot. So Hook, obviously, he's more, you know, upper hooks. You know, he's doing those sort of moves, and jab. Let's get combined. And jab is more, you know, jabbing. So they have different attacks depending, and they can switch between the two in the show, like, instantly. Like, one switches in, does one attack, the other switches in, does the other attack. You know, it's quite interesting. Now, I much prefer jab in the chair, in the seat, because if you look at his head sculpt, they've got slightly differing head sculpts. But jab has got this black crest going over the top, and they've also got, like, goggles over their eyes. You can probably see them there. They've got like transparent goggles over their eyes. So I'm going to use jab as the robot, and then I'll just put Hook back away in his little cubby hole. Right. So size comparison time. So you just need to give me a moment because I need to transform all these other figures for the size comparison. Right, okay, so that took a while. Right, so now to do the other size comparisons. So let's start off with Combiner Wars Megatron, because he's my usual, you know, size comparison bot that I use when I'm doing my Korean toy reviews, because he's a good, solid leader class bot. And as you can see, he's quite a bit bigger, a little bit bigger. But then again, this guy, he's made up out of the mass of two alt modes to form a single robot mode. So he's got a lot more plastic mass in him, so he's going to be bigger anyway. But there he is with Combiner Wars Megs. And yeah, I suppose I ought to do the size comparisons with the other Tobot crew, starting with Tobot X. Then Tobot Y. Tobot Z. And he's not quite to scale, but I've just shown the size of the toys compared to each other. Tobot Triton. And the other new character from the series, Tobot A. So there's the size comparison with all the Tobot figures that I've got from the new series. And there is one other figure I want to do a size comparison with, mainly because of the way this thing transforms, because it's a symmetrical break down the middle. It's, you know, two bots, a red and a blue one that formed to, you know, one Gestalt. It kind of reminded me of another Korean toy that I had in the past, and this is going way back. This is going back to like 9 years. I had to dig him out of my collection. Biklons Mega Beasts Cross Attacker. So yeah, now this guy transforms like diagonally. So you've got this bit here and this bit here. That's like the grey is all one bot and the red is all one bot, and they form together in like a symmetrical, no, sort of like a crossover transformation. Because like if I just clip this apart. Hang on. How does this work again? So that they come apart like that. So they form together. To form a Gestalt, and I just wanted to do a size comparison between these two because, in my opinion, they're somewhat similar. But there we go. And this is formed out of two beasts: a dire wolf and a saber-toothed tiger. So yeah, so that's that. So that's the size comparisons out of the way. Lots of them. Let's just round this this video off. Articulation. Now this guy is a Korean toy. It's not the most articulated thing. He's got decent amount of joints, but he is missing some joints which I feel hamper his articulation. Starting off with the head rotation, obviously it's a Koroyd, so you can swap it out. It's just got a basic head rotation, no forwards or backwards, it's just a rotation. The arms, now it does hit the backpack. You can move the backpack out of the way a little bit, I suppose. It is movable. No bicep swivels. That's very disappointing. There's no bicep swivels on this guy, which, you know, he's a boxer. You know, he should be able to get his arms. He should be able to, you know, cross his arms across his chest. Can't do that because he hasn't got bicep swivels. It's got an elbow. It's got no outward movement on the arm either. The arm just goes backwards and forwards. There's no outward movement as well. That's another disappointment in the articulation front. He can't bring his arm up. You know, disappointing. Moving down, no waist joint, obviously due to the way it transforms. Then the hips. The hips, again, let's get them situated right. Right, so the hips only go out that far. So again, can't do the full splits because, you know, it just jams into there. Does have thigh swivels, but also has a thigh swivel above and below the knee. So it's got two, because this joint here is on a rotation. It can flick round. Now also, because of that, it's got double knees. So you've got that joint, and then you've got that joint. So you've got two 90-degree knee joints, but because of the way how bulky the back of the leg is and all this stuff on the backpack, you can't really get much. Forwards and backwards. So it does have a decent range forwards and backwards, not so far out. Upper and lower thigh swivel. And then on the legs, I mean, you've got obviously a knee, like I showed you, and there's nothing on the feet because it's got that usual thing of an angle cut on the feet to give it a neutral A stance when it's stood upright. So yeah, articulation's disappointing. I would have hoped for more. You can move these backpack pieces around a little bit, I suppose, to get you a little bit more clearance on the arms, but he can't move his arm up like that. He can't move his arm in like that. You know, it's very disappointing. And he's supposed to be a boxer. You know, he's supposed to be able to, you know, do all those boxing moves, and he can, you know, hold his fists out straight, and that's about it. That's about all he can do. You do have this joint here, which I mean, you can dip the arm down to, you know, to, I suppose, coming for a jab, but it breaks the sculpt a little bit, and that's kind of disappointing. Yeah, so there's not much more I can say about it. The one last thing I wanted to say, also paint apps. I mean, he's pretty well painted for the most part, but they have missed some paint apps. You've got these two lights here on the roof, now on the roof rack on Jab. They're not painted, but if you look at the CGI model and the illustrations on the box, well, you can't really see it, but they are supposed to be painted silver. So I might be getting the paintbrush out and touching them in a future date. So there we go. It's a great toy. It looks fantastic. The engineering on it is worth the price of admission, in my opinion. The way this thing transforms with that symmetrical transformation, it's quite a complex and sophisticated design, but it's really good. You get, you know, two virtually identical alt molds that transform, you know, mirror symmetrically. It's very, very unusual. Yes, he has got the swap gimmick with the Koroyd. That's pretty cool. Great character in the show from what I've seen. the transformation sequence when they first transform, where they have that like, little merry-go-round and they're reciting a nursery rhyme, and all of a sudden they go transformation, and then they transform. And they can transform without pilots as well. They haven't got any Tobot pilots causing them to transform, though that might change in the second part of season 2. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that. But anyway, there's my review of Tobot 2024 Twin Punch. He's a decent figure. Has his limitations, but on the most part, he's a really good, strong, heavy, solid toy. And if you like to collect your Korean figures, I can thoroughly recommend it to anyone. So there we go. So that's been my review to today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Yeah, I made a bit of a hash of the transformations, but like I said, it's quite an unusual thing to transform with its complexity, and I'm not used to that with the Korean figures. They tend to be quite simplistic, but. That's been me, TFR Wilderness. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.